Betelgeuse is going to blow in 2 weeks, and when it does, we can't do anything to stop it. Imagine a supernova that is so bright it will light up the daytime sky. That's what famous physicist Michio Kaku warns us about, an out-of-this-world event that is not some far-off spectacle and has real ramifications on life on Earth. But Betelgeuse is no ordinary star. Lying about 640 light-years away in the constellation Orion, this is a red supergiant, the real giant. It's so huge that if it were to replace our Sun, its surface would extend beyond Jupiter's orbit, hundreds of times bigger than our Sun, and it is near the end of its life. By this point in its life, Betelgeuse, a red supergiant, has already burned through a great deal of its nuclear fuel. Stars like Betelgeuse don't die by fading away. They die by blowing up. That explosion, a supernova, is one of the universe's most violent events, releasing as much energy in a few seconds as the Sun will over its entire 10 billion-year lifetime. The question is not whether Betelgeuse will explode, but when. And that time may be closer than we could imagine. The prediction by Michio Kaku, long out of this world, that it may happen within 2 weeks may sound rather alarming. But the truth being said, there is a reason scientists are on high alert. The star Betelgeuse has been acting so erratically, and we may be witnessing the final countdown. Something strange happened to Betelgeuse back in late 2019. The star began to fade, apparently, rapidly. Within just a few months, it had lost about 60% of its brightness. That is really unprecedented for a star that has been one of the brightest in our night sky for centuries. Astronomers were flummoxed. Was this a sort of signal that Betelgeuse would explode as a supernova? Speculation ran wildly. Some speculated that dust clouds stood between the star and Earth, while others suggested that the dimming was due to changes on or inside the star. But after months of careful study, yes, months, scientists decided it was due to a combination of factors including surface cooling and dust formation. But whereas the 2019 dimming wasn't the final blow, it was a warning call. Betelgeuse is an unstable star, and it's in the last stages of its life. The clock is ticking. When Betelgeuse finally does go supernova, it will be something to see. Few events in the universe pack quite the energetic punch of a supernova explosion. For a short time, the detonation of Betelgeuse will outshine any star in the nighttime sky. It will be bright enough to be visible during the day and will rival the brightness of the full moon. The explosion will send shockwaves through space, ejecting massive amounts of materials at speeds of up to 30,000 kilometers per second. These elements, iron, carbon, oxygen, are the building blocks of planets and life. In fact, everything we're made of was forged in the heart of dying stars like Betelgeuse. It will dominate the night sky for several weeks, a reminder of powerful forces at work in the universe. But more than just an aesthetic experience, it gives scholars the chance to observe in real time one of the most energetic events occurring in nature. But what happens next? The core of Betelgeuse will collapse in the explosion, forming either a neutron star or, if that core is sufficiently massive enough, create a black hole. Neutron stars are extremely dense objects, only about 20 kilometers in diameter, but with a mass greater than that of the Sun. Black holes are regions of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. The moment anybody starts talking about a nearby star that is going to go supernova, the very first question on everyone's mind is always, is this going to affect Earth? The good news is that Betelgeuse happens to be at a distance from us where we are out of immediate danger. It's 640 light-years away, which means the radiation and shockwaves from the explosion will reach Earth much too weak to cause serious damage. In other words, though Betelgeuse will undergo an explosion that will be great to watch, it is nothing to fear. The universe has afforded us front-row seats for one of its most breathtaking shows, but we won't get caught in the crossfire. When Betelgeuse does explode, the visuals will be a huge scientific bonanza as anything likely to be seen from this planet. Supernovas are very rare events, offering astronomers a once-in-a-lifetime chance to study the life cycle of massive stars up close. When the light of Betelgeuse's supernova finally reaches Earth, astronomers will then be able to view it in real time with the use of telescopes and many other instruments available. They will study the light coming from the explosion for information about the star's composition, its interior structure, and what processes led to the explosion. Of all the things the scientists could conceivably learn from a supernova, perhaps the single most important is how supernovas produce the heavy elements that make up planets and life. Stars like Betelgeuse forge the elements that make up everything from our bodies to the rocks beneath our feet. By studying the explosion of such a star, scientists will be able to learn more about how those elements were formed and distributed through space. The explosion will also provide insight for scientists into the activity of massive stars in their final stages. Since Betelgeuse is one of the nearest red supergiants to Earth, an explosion of this star will provide a front-row seat for scientists to observe how such stars evolve and die. This will add to our comprehension of stellar evolution and our ability to predict the fate of other stars within the galaxy. Betelgeuse has been this very conspicuous feature in the nighttime sky for a number of millennia. It is a part of the constellation Orion, one of the most recognizable patterns of stars up in the sky. People all over the world have derived guidance, inspiration, and meaning from stars since time began. When Betelgeuse explodes, that is going to be one of those cultural moments, but also a scientific one. Assuming that a new star suddenly appeared in the ancient sky, people often considered some sort of omen to be fortunate or bad. Although we today do not interpret events in the sky with such superstition, there is little doubt that an outburst by Betelgeuse will capture the public imagination. It would likely mark one of the few times that people across the world could say that they witnessed a common astronomical event as it happened due to modern technology and communication. Social media will explode with images and videos of the supernova as people share in the experience of seeing a new star in the sky. It is one of those few times when humanity can come together and be in deep awe at anything that amazes them from the universe. The prospect of Betelgeuse's explosion is a reminder that the universe is dynamic, changing day in and day out. We often think of space as this big, broad, open, featureless vacuum, but it's actually pretty active. Stars form, they live, they die, and in doing so, they sculpt the cosmos. But when it finally does destroy itself, Betelgeuse will mark quite a dramatic end to one chapter in the life of the universe. It'll be the beginning of another. The elements cooked up by the explosion will be carried into space, where they may form new stars, planets, and maybe even life. In one way, Betelgeuse's death is part of the cosmic creation-destruction cycle.